The child from the hospital.
If you all don't mind, I would like to do my report now. I know what the Founding Fathers would say. He does? He does? I learned something today. This country was founded by some of the smartest thinkers the world has ever seen. And they knew one thing. That a truly great country can go to war and at the same time act like it doesn't want to. You people who are for the war, you need the protesters because they make the country look like it's made of sane, caring individuals. And you people who are anti-war, you need these flag wavers because if our whole country was made up of nothing but self-pussy protesters, we'd get taken down in a second. That's why the Founding Fathers decided we should have both. It's called having your cake and eating it too.
Okay, this is an interesting episode because it goes much deeper. And this is one of the conundrums that humanity seems to always have to face, right? You always have this polarity. You've got this polar viewpoints, right? Republican, Democrat, capitalism, communism, right? You've got these two opposing points of view that always have some sort of they're hot button or hot topics or yeah, I mean they're just topics that people disagree on so adamantly, so wholeheartedly, so viciously that people are willing to literally kill each other to get their way. And this has been the case for thousands of years, since recorded history. Religion is one of the biggest I guess generators of this sort of dichotomy, of this sort of polarization of the world. And by the way, this is season 7, episode 4 of season 7. I'm a little bit country. If you haven't watched, I recommend that you do. I recommend you take some time to watch this particular episode. It's funny, right? Like South Park is. It's you'll get some chuckles and shit, but it also sort of outlines some very deep philosophical, political, and economic issues. I've always thought that there's one right way to handle any one issue, right? And this is kind of something I was arguing with somebody else over the other day, is that when it comes down to the nature of the subjective experience. The subjective experience is predicated on the amount of information any one system has. You don't even need to be conscious. You don't need to be sentient. You just need to be some sort of system that has access to some amount of information and use that information in order to analyze any one given current event or something happening in order to react properly. And no one system will ever have all of the information necessary in order to actually properly react to any one situation. Or I shouldn't say ever, because I don't know, maybe there's some super sci-fi futuristic way to do that. But my point is that the subjective experience is fundamental to this sort of polarity, to this sort of division between peoples and beliefs and what a society should do, how they should handle some given situation. Some people grew up deeply religious and they believe that their religious ideals are fundamental to how society should work. And so that colors their perspective. Some people are deeply scientific individuals and kind of revel in I guess working with the world analytically and with almost mathematically. So you've got this kind of cold, calculative perspective, which a lot of people share, and then you've got kind of this more emotionally driven, like a belief-driven perspective, which a lot of people share. Still, personally, I think that there is a best way to handle, or like, if not one, a couple of best ways to handle any one situation. And I think it's hard to know, hindsight is always 20/20 sort of thing, right? Like it's hard to know exactly how to handle something. If it's a new thing or if it's very loaded or charged situation, it's difficult to know exactly what way is best. There are instances where right-leaning perspectives ended up being the better way. There are several instances where left-leaning perspectives ended up being the better way. And that's not to say that there isn't. How do I say this? That's not to say that they were wrong per se. They were just their filter, I guess, their viewpoint, what they know, right? Their experiences, who they've interacted with, their community, their filter plays a massive role in how they perceive a situation and what they think would be the best way to handle that situation. And I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, first of all, great episode. I recommend watching it and not just to watch it for shits and giggles. Watch it for watch it for what it's kind of meant to be watched for, right? Watch it for what it is. Watch it for the content. Pay attention to what happens, how people react, how the division happens so easily, and just think about it, man. I don't know how else to say it. I think that there are ways to handle things that are better for some people and worse for others, right? I mean, that's not even a question, right? Like, certain ways to handle certain things will benefit some people and not benefit others. But I think there has got to be some sort of middle ground or some sort of alternative means of analyzing situations and then devising some sort of way to handle it properly that if not benefit everybody, benefit most, and if not and minimize damage, right? Like, you want to minimize the damage, you want to minimize the harshness of any possible outcome. And I don't think that is achieved by believing that what you think should happen is right. I think that's achieved through communication, through talking, through dropping your guard, shedding your ego, being open, being vulnerable, having an honest and open conversation with people that have an opposing point of view, and working together to come to some sort of best outcome. Like, personally, I think there's a lot of bad that can happen by reacting to some situation based wholly on belief, or you know, just like somebody's fundamental beliefs or emotions. I think that can really lead to some bad places. But on the other hand, I think taking emotion out of the equation, it can be just as damaging. You can hurt a lot of people if you're just like purely working on numbers and you know, breaking everything down to pure calculation. So what I'm trying to say is, we should all work together. We should kind of like what happened at the end of this episode. You know, they realize that it's necessary to. I mean, not from this, not the same perspective, right? Their whole thing is, well, you just watch it and you'll see. But it kind of ends with realizing that both sides are fundamentally necessary for properly analyzing and creating some sort of plan of attack for whatever the situation is. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Bye.